Guys, guess what? The weather's getting nicer outside. The birds are starting to chirp. The sunflower seeds are back out, even though I've been eating these things all winter long. Can't get enough of them. By the way, great value sunflower seeds. Extremely underrated. If you want some kick in your black pepper sunflower seeds, get great value. I can only get these or spits here. I tell you, these ones are really, really good. That's just a bit of advice from a baseball player and a baseball fan. Baseball is back. College baseball is back. I've been watching my South Carolina Gamecocks play a ton. We're undefeated right now. I'm very excited about our season. Having a blast watching them. But MLB is just around the corner. Spring training has started. People are starting to hit the balls out of the ballpark. They're down in Florida and Arizona. And this is the second day in a row that I'm going to do a tier maker video. I did one yesterday with NFL draft prospects. I haven't used this green screen in so long, and I'm just like, gotta put it to some good use. And I see these tier maker things all the time, and I haven't put them together. I have never done them on my channel except for yesterday. So we're back with my second one ever. And we're putting these, categorizing each and every MLB team into how they look this season. Some MLB 2021 predictions. It's going to be an amazing video. Guys, if you're a baseball fan, football fan, basketball fan, hockey fan, or just a sports fan in general, this is the channel for you. Hit the subscribe button down below and do us a favor and hit that like button. We really appreciate that. And comment anything in the comments about the MLB baseball. Love to hear what you guys have to say. Let's get into this. So we got a bunch of different categories. We got World Series or bust. We got World Series hopefuls. We got playoff contenders, playoff sleepers, just missed the cut, work to be done, and then better luck next year as our worst category out of all of these. And I'm just going to be going through each team, giving you maybe a little breakdown, and just telling you where I think that each team will end up at the end of the season and where I expect each team to go. So starting off, I don't think these are in alphabetical order. This is just a random order of teams that we're going to go each by each. Starting off with the Arizona Diamondbacks, I'm putting them in work to be done. They're in a really strong division in the NL West. They're kind of one of the weaker teams, them and the Rockies. There definitely needs to be work to be done on the Arizona Diamondbacks, but I wouldn't necessarily call them one of the worst teams in all of baseball, so that's why I'm putting them there. The Chicago Cubs, I'm going to go playoff sleepers. They got a good division with the Brewers and Cardinals, and the Reds. The Pirates are kind of on the lower end of that division, but you got talent on that team. You still got Chris Bryant, Javi Baez, Anthony Rizzo. Talent on that team. They've been struggling the last couple years in using that talent to the best of their abilities. Not to say that they're a bad team, but for the talent that they have, they're not doing that well. So I'm putting them in the playoffs sleepers. I don't think many people have them as being a contender, but I see them as a team that I wouldn't be shocked if they went on and made the playoffs. Chicago White Sox, I'm putting them in the World Series hopeful category. This is a good team in the AL Central, obviously having the reigning AL MVP Jose Abreu on their team. The White Sox are a team that are looking to make the World Series this year. I wouldn't say that their World Series are bust. I wouldn't say every single one of their fans would be super, super ticked off if they didn't make the World Series, but I think that they're definitely a team capable of doing that. Cleveland Indians are the Cleveland baseball team. I've heard that they're still sticking with Indians for this season. I'm putting them in the playoff sleepers. Again, you lose Lindor. The pitching staff on that team isn't what it used to be, but this is a team, again, that I would not be shocked if they were able to go out and shock some people in their division in the AL Central. But again, I would not put them in the playoff contenders at all. Coming in, I said it, I mentioned this team when we were talking about the Arizona Diamondbacks, Colorado Rockies. You trade Nolan Arenado. You still got Trevor Story, who's one of the best shortstops in the game, but there's still work to be done, especially in the pitching staff for this Colorado Rockies team. So I'm putting them in the work to be done category 100%. Next, we go off to the Detroit Tigers. Detroit is going to be the first team in the better luck next year category. This is a struggling team. They had their glory days early in the 2010s, making the World Series, and I think it was 2013, but falling short to the Giants after getting swept. The Tigers are rebuilding. There's no way around it. The Tigers need to do a lot, so better luck next year to them. Houston Astros, I'm going to go playoff sleepers. I wouldn't call them contenders necessarily, but the Astros are going to be a sleeper team. You lose George Springer, obviously one of your best players. You still have Altuve. You sign back Michael Brantley. You still have Bregman. This is a good, solid team. They got some players on the pitching staff. I just don't see them coming out of the West as the top team. I have other teams in there, but who knows? Again, I wouldn't be shocked if they made the playoffs because they do have the talent too, but I'm going to put them in there. Los Angeles Angels, division rivals of the Houston Astros. I'm going to go playoff contenders. I know that this has been a team that has never been able to figure it out. Mike Trout has one playoff appearance, but there's got to be some time. I know the pitching staff is weak, but this team has to figure it out at least once out of all the years that they've been playing with Mike Trout. They have to figure it out at least once, and I think that this is going to be the year that you're going to see the Angels make the playoffs and hopefully get a win, because Mike Trout is 0-1 in the playoffs. Miami Marlins, I'm going to drop into the playoff sleepers as well. They could fall into that just missed the cut category, but playoff sleepers, Miami Marlins, they had a decent season last year. I think you got a really good young pitching staff on Miami. It's just they're in the best division of baseball, in my opinion. That NL East is absolutely stacked. All the teams, you don't really have a huge bottom dweller in that division, but I think that the Marlins are definitely a team that, again, I wouldn't be shocked if they made it. They made it last year. They shocked some people with that, but you got a good young team in Miami. I wouldn't be shocked if they were able to go out and make that. Minnesota Twins, I'm putting in the contenders. Again, you're playing in a getting stronger, if that makes any sense, a stronger AL Central than what it has been in the past. You got the White Sox now. The Indians, I know they're not what they used to be, but they're getting better. I think the Royals are getting better, obviously. You still have the Tigers as kind of that bottom tier team. But I think the Twins are still a really, really good baseball team, and they got a chance to do something special. They still got JD, Josh Donaldson, Miguel Sano. You got lots of good players out there in Minnesota, so I think that they're going to be a playoff contender team for sure. First, World Series or bust team, the New York Yankees. It is New York Yankees standard, especially the last couple seasons, that you are making the World Series or we are not going to be pleased, or you're winning the World Series and we are not going to be pleased. This team needs to do something with the talent they got on this team. DJ, you got Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, Gleyber Torres, you got the pitching staff, you got Garrett Cole. Now, this is a team that really has to figure it out somehow, and I think that this is a team definitely shooting for the stars this season and trying to go to the World Series. Oakland A's, I know this is a team that has made the playoffs consistently the last couple of years, but I'm going to put them in just missed the cut. So they're kind of that team, one of those teams that they didn't have a terrible season, they didn't have a great season, but they weren't the bottom dwellers. I just don't feel very strong about the A's at all. They lose Simeon. They got some good guys on that team still. You got Matt Chapman, but again, I don't think that they're going to be anything special this season, so I'm putting them there. Second bottom dweller, the Pittsburgh Pirates, one of my favorite teams in baseball, actually. Pittsburgh's probably the worst team in baseball. Nicest stadium. I did MLB Stadium's ranked video, so definitely go check that out on this channel. It's an amazing video, went stadium by stadium. But the Pirates are not a good baseball team, so they deserve to be there. Just missed the cut. I'm going Red Sox. The Red Sox pitching staff, Chris Sale hasn't been as good as he has been in the past. You got Bogarts. You got Rafael Devers on this team. You got talent on this Red Sox team, but again, the division, you're in a really good division with the Rays, the Jays, and the Yankees this year, so I'm putting the Red Sox as a team that just missed the cut. This is another team shooting for the stars. I'm going World Series or bust, the San Diego Padres. Huge moves in the pitching staff for the Padres this season, obviously going out and grabbing Blake Snell and grabbing Yu Darvish. You got probably could be the second best player in baseball in Fernando Tatis Jr. His potential, they just signed him to a I think it was like $300-something million contract, 13 years or 12 years, something like that. Fernando Tatis Jr. on that team. You still got Manny Machado. This is a team that is shooting for the stars, and they've shown it in their offseason, so they're definitely a World Series or bust team. Seattle Mariners, this is a tough one. I'm going to put them in the work to be done category. They haven't been relevant in baseball for a while, and there still has to be a lot of work to be done with the Seattle Mariners, but I'm not going to say that they are one of the worst teams in all baseball. St. Louis Cardinals, I'm going to go playoff contenders here. They play in a good division. You get Arenado from the Rockies. You still have Goldschmidt. You have a good team out there. You got Jack Flaherty, one of the best young pitchers in the game. The Cardinals are definitely a playoff contender in my opinion, so that's why I'm putting them out there. Ex-AL champions, Tampa Bay Rays. I don't know if I want to put them in World Series hopeful. Again, it sounds bad that they just made it last year, but I think that their division has just got even more competitive with the Jays and all their offseason additions, and the Rays with their losses. they don't have the money to compete with the big boys. And I think, yes, they made the World Series last year, but I think that's really going to take a toll on them this year. So I'm putting them in the playoff contenders category. Next up, Texas Rangers. I'm going to go, they're kind of borderline between just missed the cut and work to be done. I'm going to drop them in. This tough. I'm going to drop them in work to be done. There's still lots of work to be done. Yes, they did work on their baseball stadium. Doesn't really change how your team plays. There's still a lot to be done with this Texas Rangers baseball program, especially with some of the big boys in the AL West. They aren't one of those guys that you look at the AL West and you're like, that team's going to be a playoff contender this year, so I'm putting them in work to be done. I'm going to go Nationals. This is a really tough one because the Nationals, ever since the World Series, they had a rough season last year, but they have the talent on this team to be something really special, so I'm putting them in playoff sleepers. Trey Turner is one of my favorite players in all the MLB. You have Juan Soto, who's a top 10 player in the MLB. Max Scherzer. This is a good team. Again, that division is so stacked this year. I don't know if they're going to be an automatic guarantee to the playoffs, but again, I'm going to say that that team is definitely a team that I would not be shocked if they made the the playoffs. The team that's on my jersey, Atlanta Braves. I know the logo is cut off weird here because it's kind of like the script logo like I got on my jersey. World Series hopefuls for sure. They blew a 3-1 lead last year in the NLCS, and they were so close to probably beating the Tampa Bay Rays in the World Series, considering that the Dodgers did. If you just logically, the Braves, I'm not saying this would have happened, but if the Braves beat the Dodgers and the Dodgers beat the Rams, I'm in football, Rays in the World Series this year, you have the Braves beating the Rays, whatever. Just ignore everything I said. The Braves are going to be a really good team. That offense is absolutely amazing on that team. Freddie Freeman, NL MVP, Ronald Acuna Jr., Ozzie Albies, Dansby Swanson. You got a really good team out there in Atlanta, and a pitching staff that's just getting going. Max Fried, he's just getting going out there in Atlanta, and this is a team that you could see. They signed back Marcell Ozuna, which was a big addition. This team is definitely going to be shooting for the World Series, but I wouldn't say that they're in World Series or bust mode just yet. New York Mets, World Series hopeful for sure. This is a team that could be borderline on that World Series or bust. I think that in all New York, let's put that next to them. All New York World Series, that would be unbelievable. The Subway Series and the World Series in November. Let's say that game goes to November and we get a snowfall in that game. That would be something really special. The Mets have put in the money and the assets to be a contender this year, obviously going out and grabbing Francisco Lindor. You have an amazing pitching staff, obviously, highlighted by Jacob deGrom. You also got Jeff McNeil and Pete Alonso on that offense. This is a really good team, and a team that is definitely going to be shooting for the World Series this year. Again, I wouldn't say that they're in that World Series or bust mode yet, but they're getting there. Depends on how they do this season. If they get really close to the World Series, maybe go out next year, grab another free agent, spend some money, and then you kind of see them putting up in that World Series or bust position. Milwaukee Brewers, they got Christian Yelich, who's one of the best players in baseball, but I'm going to go just miss the cut. I know that could be confusing because I got the freaking Marlins as a sleeper and I got the Indians as a sleeper, but the Brewers, I can't remember if I think they did make the playoffs last year. I'm just not feeling it with the Brewers. Like, yes, you got Christian Yelich, who's one of the best players in baseball, but one guy doesn't determine your whole baseball team, so I'm putting them in the just miss the cut category. Who do we got here? Cincinnati. This is another really tough one. You lose Trevor Bauer. Obviously, again, one guy doesn't make your whole team. I'm going to go playoff sleepers. This is a team that has been on the rise the last couple seasons, but again, I'm not saying that they're an easy playoff contender, but would I be surprised if the Reds made it back there? No. World Series or bust, 100% for the Los Angeles Dodgers. I mean, they go out and they spend a fortune on Trevor Bauer, who's I think is making the most per year in the MLB. Don't ask me why, but that's just how it is. The Dodgers won it last year. The pitching staff is amazing. You just added to it with Trevor Bauer. You still got Kershaw, Walker Buehler, Cody Bellinger. Who else do you got on that team? You got Justin Turner re-signs. You got Mookie Betts? How am I forgetting everyone on the Dodgers? Like, that's one of the best teams in baseball, and I'm forgetting everyone. Seager. The list goes on and on and on for the Dodgers players and how good they are going to be for the next coming years. So, World Series or bust 100%. Baltimore Orioles, better luck next year for sure. Orioles, again, they're definitely the doormat of that AL East, and you just need some better luck next year. That's all I can say about the Orioles. Not too much to talk about them at all this year. But Trey Mancini, what a great story to see him back in spring training after going through cancer. Unbelievable story there. Philadelphia Phillies, I'm going in playoff sleepers. Again, a stacked division, but I think the Phillies could honestly be a good team this year. Bryce Harper needs to figure it out in Philadelphia. He's got to get them going, but you re-sign Real Muto. You got some good guys on this team. You got some good guys on this Phillies team. Yes, you play in a tough division, probably the toughest in baseball, as I've said multiple times, but I think that this team is a lot better than a lot of people say they are. I'll leave it at that. Kansas City Royals, I'm going to go just miss the cut. Again, I think this is a young team with Mondesi, and you got Whit Merrifield probably being the two main guys on that Kansas City Royals team. I wouldn't say that I wouldn't put them in the work to be done category. I actually am pretty high on the Kansas City Royals, but I'm not saying that they're going to make the playoffs this year. I know that they're still a weak team, but I just feel like they're a bit better than that work to be done category. The San Francisco Giants. The Giants, where do I want to put them? Do I put them with the rest of the NL West here? The rest of the NL West here? No, they definitely don't belong there. I'm going to go just miss the cut. Yeah, I'm going to go just miss the cut. I think that's the Giants to make the playoffs in a division with two absolutely stacked teams that you have to play 6 series this season. That is if we play a whole 162 game season. The Giants, I don't think that they're going to be a playoff team this year, but who knows? Who knows? I'm just putting them in just miss the cut. Toronto Blue Jays, finishing off with my favorite team. I know I'm wearing the Braves jersey, but yeah, I would have, if I had a Braves hat, I would have put my Jays jersey on and then done a Braves hat, but I didn't have that, so I was just like, I'll do Jays hat and Braves jersey. I also have a Cubs and Pirates jersey that I could have put on, but I didn't. World Series hopefuls for the Jays. They've put a lot of money and a lot of assets into doing well for the next coming years. You got the young trio, or as what we call in Toronto, Gen B. That's kind of the whole Jays marketing scheme right now. Vlad, Kevin Biggio, Bo Bichette, and then some other young guys, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Teoscar Hernandez, 2 big outfielders. You go out, you sign George Springer. You go out, you get Marcus Semien. The pitching staff is getting better, signing Kirby Yates. You still have Ryu on that pitching staff. You got tons of good guys on this team, and I think that this is a team that is definitely going to be shooting for the stars, but I wouldn't say that they're in that World Series or bust situation just yet. But I say that they're kind of in this category with these other teams down here. So that is my video for today. That is my tier maker and where I have each team lining up for this season. Obviously, you guys are going to have some disagreements, so I'd love to hear your guys' opinion on this video down below in the comments, where you'd have each team, where you'd move some teams. Obviously, if your team's favorite teams, let's say the Astros, and I put them in the sleepers, you're probably going to be like, oh, we're definitely a playoff contender. Again, this is just my list. It's just my opinion. It's just for pure entertainment and for your guys' enjoyment. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Like down below, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and definitely come back next time.